Hey guys, how's it going? Power 5 Fanatics here. Gonna do our weekly pick'ems against the spread. We've already got one out from last week, hasn't concluded yet because we got some bowl games coming up.
This will also be our last video of the year, so
yeah,
make sure you watch it all the way through because we got some great picks to end 2019 out with.
Yeah, but we hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and you're excited for the bowl season because now it's starting to get going here. Yeah. We're going to be having the first round of the playoffs here this Saturday. So we're going to see who ends up in the national title game. Some very interesting games. Definitely not counting Oklahoma out of that game, even though they have the 3 suspended players. I think Ramondre Stevenson and Ronnie Perkins.
They are the heavy underdogs, though, the 4 teams.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see these games play out. And we also got this week we're going to pick those games, and we're also going to include some of the other big time New Year's 6 games. We didn't really include the Auburn Minnesota game, but we picked some of the other ones. We like to stick with 5. So
you know, the playoff games this year, Drew, I think more people are anticipating, you know, I mean, just a great playoff this year, mainly because it's different. Obviously, Alabama's not in there, and that maybe there's more parity than there has been, even though you kind of got to argue that it's really the parities between the top 3 teams.
Right.
But it's not 1 or 2 teams. You would think at least there's 3 teams, you know, that have a real legitimate shot. And you can't totally count Oklahoma out either because it's a 1-game, you know, win or lose, and anything can happen. Speaking of Oklahoma, we're going to start there with the Peach Bowl. This is I'm not sure if this is the first game on Saturday or not, but
it's not the first game on Saturday, but I think it's before the Clemson Ohio State
I'm talking about of the playoff game.
Yeah, I think it is.
Anyway, it's the Peach Bowl. LSU heavy favorite at 13.5 points, and Drew and I both like Oklahoma. Oklahoma being the pick because their defense seems to have come back around. You know, the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season, they kind of got lost a little bit there. You know, after their Kansas State loss. Really, their offense has been good all year long, and Jalen Hurts has been solid. CeeDee Lamb will be playing in this game, of course, and, you know, he's, I guess, probably I'd say he's the best receiver in the playoffs. So
yeah, he might be.
He probably is.
I think he is.
And so we really think they're going to put the points up enough to stay within that 2-touchdown spread. Yeah. Even as good as LSU's been.
Yeah, you know, Oklahoma, like I said, they're missing 3 of their guys. I think they're all young guys. They're missing Ramondre Stevenson, I think, is a running back, and then they're missing Ronnie Perkins, who is their best pass rusher, which that's a little bit concerning, but I don't know if that's going to have a whole lot of change in this game. And then they're also missing, I think, Trajan Bridges, which is a wide receiver freshman. But I kind of think that Oklahoma's been getting a little bit disrespected these past, you know, several weeks.
And that Baylor win in the championship game, that was a big win.
That was a big win for them. They beat them twice.
I mean, they beat them twice.
And I think that, you know, Hurts has been in this position before, that he's had to play in these big games several times. I know he got pulled a few years ago in favor of Tua, but he won, you know, the game last year.
He does have a lot
of
big game experience.
He's got a lot of big game experience. Lincoln Riley's been here. They're hungry. They're, what are they, 0-3, 0-4 in the playoffs? Yeah. They need to win a game in the playoffs.
They need to win a national title. I mean, they've had a lot of close calls over the last 20 years. And, you know, it's easy to think you're always going to be there, and it doesn't always play out that way. So
the other thing too is LSU's defense has really impressed me the past couple weeks. They really basically shut down A&M, and then they shut down Georgia as well in the SEC championship. But they haven't played an offense like Oklahoma.
No.
And you know, I think that, you know, maybe Alabama.
The closest
I
was
think
Alabama
definitely would be.
But Alabama put the points up on them. You know, I know a lot of it was late, but they still put some yards up and some points.
But that was without Tua. You know,
you're right.
They beat them with.
That's right.
So, I can't think of the guy's name. I apologize, but. You know, this is going to be Jalen Hurts.
This is one of the better offenses, if not the best offense they'll see all year.
Yeah, and they're going to be motivated. They got bulletin board material. They feel like they've been disrespected in this game, and they usually keep these games close. I mean, even last year when they started off 0-28, I think it was 28-0 against Alabama. They made it respectable. I think they lost by like 11.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they really were able to make a run there, and that was with Kyler Murray. But I think Oklahoma's got a chance to at least cover in this game.
Oh yeah, we think they're going to cover.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second playoff game. This is the Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix
or Glendale.
Arizona. Clemson at Ohio. I'm sorry, Ohio State. I guess would be the home team, but it's Clemson, Ohio State. Ohio State. This line actually surprised me when I saw it. I thought it might be a pick 'em or maybe even Ohio State favored by a point or two, and Clemson is favored by 2 points. We both like Ohio State to cover this.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm picking them to beat Clemson. My reasoning, Drew, is they just been the best team in America for the last 4 months, and you really can't argue it because if you just want to look at the competition they played, it's just the Big Ten.
It's definitely superior.
The Big Ten was really an up year for them. I mean, when you had all the teams, you even had teams like obviously Minnesota, Indiana, Illinois.
Iowa was good.
Illinois at times
Penn
was
State
decent.
was better than we thought.
And they just rolled through these teams. The closest game was Penn State, where they won by 11. I can't even remember what the final score was at the Big Ten championship.
Oh, the Big 12.
But they beat Wisconsin pretty good. Another good team from the Big Ten. So they're battle tested. They've just been taking care of business. I think they are the most talented team, especially in some of the key spots in football, which I'm obviously quarterback, running back, and Chase Young, and then they also have their cornerback
Jeffrey Okudah.
Yeah. So there's these key positions in football, which most people identify as ones that are difference makers on the field, and they've been playing that way. And I'm not taking anything away from Clemson. They shut me up. I'm telling you, after about 2 months into the season, then they just kind of got it all together. I was really starting to question them, but I was wrong on them. They are a great team, and I think that young talent they have just started getting better, and they got a more battle test as they went. But again, I don't think they're as battle test as Ohio State, and when push comes to shove, I think they're going to have more. They're going to have more to it to get it done. It's going to be a close game, I'm sure. I'm thinking Ohio State by 7 points.
Okay. Yeah, this one, the intrigue here is Clemson. As of right now, what we know is that Clemson has the coaching advantage and Ohio State has the talent advantage. How does that all come together? How does Ohio State, scheme? How does that come together?
I mean, it could be a classic.
It could be, it could be the other way where it's so lopsided one way or the other. It could be a blowout.
Yeah, this could actually be the national title game right here.
It could be
in some ways because. I mean, arguably it's hard to place all these teams, but a lot of people are going to say those are the two best teams.
I think this is a razor-thin margin
it is.
Between Clemson and Ohio State. I know on paper Ohio State's got the talent advantage over Clemson, but they've kind of proven everyone wrong the past several years as far as the way that they've developed, the way that they've scouted talent. You may look at the recruiting websites and it may say that, they're not as talented as Ohio State, but we may just be misevaluating that talent that they've been, calculating the right way, and maybe they are as talented as Ohio State, So it could go a lot of different ways. This is a razor-thin line here, but I have to agree with Vince here. My gut says Clemson, but my brain and my eyes say Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And I think Ohio State throughout the whole season has been the most complete team on special teams, defense, offense. Their coaching has been spectacular. The way that they've been able to develop and bring in Justin Fields and, make him, really fit into their offense around him where he threw 40 touchdowns and 1 interception the whole season is unbelievable. I think Ohio State's going to win this one in a close margin, but it's going to be – I think it could be a classic game that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. So we got Ohio State getting the points. Again, I'm picking them actually winning the game, upsetting Clemson and winning the game. It's probably going to be pretty high scoring, Drew. I mean, I don't think the defenses are going to hold these teams down a whole lot. What do you think?
The defenses are really good.
I'm going to say
these offenses are.
I'm going to say
really
32-28 Ohio State.
I think it'll be in the high 20s, low 30s. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be able to just shut them down. There's no way.
One other thing about these games we just went over, the playoff games, this is such a anticipated playoff because if you think about just the players that are in this game, I mean, it's like it's the best at their positions. I mean, you have all 4 Heisman Trophy candidates in this tournament, okay? I mean, with Jalen Hurts, Fields.
Lawrence wasn't in New York, but he was certainly on the ballot.
I mean, right. And, that's not even including him. And then it's just, you got these top offenses, and then you got some of the, a couple of them I would say have great defenses.
And LSU and Oklahoma, they have underrated defenses. I mean, they really do.
So it's just, this is very highly anticipated. We were talking earlier about how, the spread between these games Saturday, and then it's 13 games. I don't think the final game's not till, was it January 13th?
Yeah, it's a while. It's going to be
something like that.
A few weeks down the road.
Yeah, like a couple weeks. So I hope it doesn't. I'm talking about with the national public. Hopefully, it doesn't get forgotten about or watered down.
With the NFL playoffs.
I mean, if you're watching this video, you're going to watch it even if they played it in April. It wouldn't matter. But anyway, just hopefully that doesn't kill some of the momentum from what they're building here. But it ought to be a great playoff.
Yeah.
Moving on to the third game, Drew, we got Michigan, Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. Alabama's favored by 7 points. We like Alabama to cover. And, Michigan's had a really great year, considering they still didn't beat Ohio State again. And they were out of the national title picture basically in October, I guess. But outside of that, they've really had a great year. They beat Notre Dame. They really, their offense kind of got it together in November and it got a whole lot better.
They beat Michigan State, too, which is obviously a big deal for Michigan fans.
But I just think Alabama's got too many guns, even without Tua playing. And they're going to score a whole lot of points, even with Michigan's defense playing as well as it has, because Alabama's offense is just they got some really great skill position players and a lot of team speed.
I think his name is Mac Jones as the Alabama quarterback. I hope we're not disrespecting Michigan here, by just thinking.
Hey, I've been the biggest Michigan homer the whole entire year.
We picked them.
I just think Alabama's got too many guns.
I think Alabama's licking their chops here. I think this is an opportunity for Alabama to really go out and make a statement on some team that is very talented in Michigan. I think that they're just going to
I'm thinking they're going to win by maybe 14 to 17
I think it'll
points.
be like a 2-touchdown game. I mean, I think it'll be like a big type of statement win for them.
I'm thinking something about 38-24.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen Michigan struggle in these big games. I mean, they got blasted by Florida last year, like 45-15 or something.
They also got beat really bad by Wisconsin. That was basically the game that put them out of the national title picture pretty much.
And I just give the coaching advantage over to, Saban and company.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Anyway, we like Alabama giving the 7 points. Moving on to the Rose Bowl. The good old Rose Bowl classic. You got Oregon, Wisconsin. Wisconsin favored by 3.
Yeah.
We like Oregon getting the points in this one. My reasoning, Drew, on this.
We think they'll win.
Yeah, I think they're going to win outright. Exactly. Yeah. Their defense has been maybe not quite to Wisconsin's level, but close.
Yeah.
I would say the best defense. You could argue Utah maybe had a better defense than Oregon this year in the Pac-12, but honestly, I think Oregon's was better consistently than Utah's, and they got a whole lot more offense than Wisconsin. I think they're gonna win outright.
I think these defenses, if you want to say Wisconsin's a little bit better, I completely understand that. I think Oregon might be full of a little bit more playmakers on defense than Wisconsin. I think they're a little bit more athletic on the lines too. Wisconsin's got a great offensive line, but I think Oregon's got a great defensive line, and their offensive line's full of upperclassmen. I mean, they got one of the best offensive lines in the country, Oregon does. I think that their offense is better than Wisconsin's, and I think their defense is about even with Wisconsin. So I think Oregon will win this game, at least cover the 3, but I think they could definitely win this game. And, these teams getting to go to the Rose Bowl, that'll be a fun venue for them to play in.
Oh yeah.
But it'll definitely be more of Oregon's element. They'll probably have more fans there. You know, Wisconsin's gonna have to travel pretty far to get there. Their fans will, and Oregon's just gonna have to go south a little bit and enjoy some, you know, Southern California weather.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, lately it hadn't been good, but by the time this game's played, it'll probably be blown out of there. They've had a lot of rain there.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been good to play this game. Like, they've had all kinds of weird weather in California, but yeah. I think that whole deal will
usually
be
it
gone.
Seems like the Rose
Bowl.
Bowl.
Well, yeah, usually it's 70 degrees.
You know, the gym of the football world when they play.
It will probably be cleared out by then, so I don't think that's going to be a factor. Anyway, we like Oregon getting the points, and we're picking them to upset and actually win the game. Last game, Drew, Sugar Bowl, Georgia, Baylor. Baylor getting 6 points, and we like Georgia covering that spread, giving 6 points. Georgia's defense, we were just talking about this earlier, Drew and I would say arguably probably the SEC's best defense.
I think it is.
I hadn't really thought about that a whole lot this year, but with Alabama struggling on defense, LSU's been a little bit iffy. Florida at times has been really good, and Auburn has. But I think consistently Georgia's had the best defense in the SEC.
Yeah.
And Baylor just surprised so many people. That's another one of those teams that, man, they shoved me up the way they played at the end of the year. And definitely they were the best defense in the Big 12, but this is at a different level. I think what Baylor's offense has seen when they go against them, and you know what Georgia's going to do. They're just going to say, we're going to shut down the run.
Yep. And
that's really been Baylor's MO this entire season. Brewer running the ball, and their running backs. They have some pretty good running backs, and you know, running for 200, 250 a game and wrap it up. I just don't think they're going to be able to run like that.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be low scoring. I'm thinking 17-10 Georgia, with them barely covering against Baylor. Because I don't think Georgia's going to score a lot either.
This game is – I'm picking Georgia to cover here, but I'm not very confident here either. Baylor's defense, I'm just telling you guys, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, their defensive line is solid. James Lynch, he's like a all-American defensive lineman for them. And their defense in general, I really think it's their defensive line that makes their defense go, though. You know, they have some good players on the back seven, but that front three is solid. I mean, it's definitely the best in the Big 12, no doubt. And, you know, their offense, they kind of remind me of Georgia a little bit. Like, their offense is better running the ball, kind of struggles in the passing game.
Baylor's definitely better running the ball.
And then they got a really good defense. This is a big line, I think.
I think Georgia's defense owes at a little bit different level than Baylor's at this point.
It's definitely more full of playmakers. I mean, that's the thing about Georgia. I think they can maybe get a pick or something late in the game, or cause a fumble or something. You know, like a strip fumble, a sack or something. I could see that type of thing happening for Georgia.
I think it will be low scoring.
And that's why we're picking them to win by a touchdown. You know, it's 6 here. I think they're going to cover, though. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. But this is a big line for a game like this, just because these – you know, the misnomer here is that Georgia or Baylor's just an offensive team. That's not true. They're actually not. They're a defensive team. So it's going to be a low-scoring game, I think. I'm going to say Georgia 21 to Baylor 14. That's going to be the final score, I think.
Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of points scored in this game. I don't see how in the world there would be.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's our picks. This is the last video for 2019, so we'll be coming at you in 2020 with some basketball.
The new decade.
Basketball, and of course we'll also keep some football videos up after the season's over. But we're looking forward to the basketball season too, as we get into the conference play starting January 2nd. And so we'll be with you then. This has been a long video. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for watching this year. Subscribe, like, share. Let us know what you think about our picks in the comment. Y'all have a great day. Thanks.
Yeah, and let us know if you're interested in any NFL coverage too. Of course, we mostly have been covering college football, but we're interested in covering the NFL too, because we're both NFL fans. And if y'all are interested in those type of videos, if we do spread videos, let us know in the comments, and maybe we can start covering that as well. All right, guys, we appreciate it. Y'all have a good New Year's. Thanks.
Thanks.